Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just another recent finds video. Just random stuff that I've picked up here and there. I've come across some really good sales over the past couple weeks, which is awesome. I mean, some stuff upwards of 50% off, which is kind of cool. And yeah, as always, there's not a lot of rhyme or reasons, just things I stumbled across that I've always wanted. So let's kind of just jump right into it. Let's start off here with one CD I want to share. This is Vanilla Fudge, self-titled, of course. As you can see, it's a Japanese CD with a little obi strip there. Definitely my favorite album by them. I don't have one on vinyl right now, a copy on vinyl, so I was really happy to finally get the CD because this is definitely my favorite album by them. I've actually bought probably three or four copies of this out the vinyl over the last few years or whatever, and I can just never seem to get my hands on a perfect copy. Um, even the last one I bought, pulled it out, cover looked pretty much mint, vinyl looked clean. I even sampled a little bit of it in the store, but of course, those cheap turntables they have in headphones, but it sounded okay, so I bought it, brought it home, and threw it on. And sure enough, just there were some pops and ticks in there that I just couldn't. It's like, so I'm just having a hard time finding a clean copy. And I think one of the reasons why I'm so picky with this album too is not only because I want, you know, near mint stuff in my collection, but my favorite song on here is "You Keep Me Hanging On," which I think is the perfect mixture between just rock and soul. I mean, the way they did that song is perfection, better than any other version ever done. But at the beginning of that song, there's so many quiet areas. So if a vinyl is not just like perfect, you hear whatever potential flaw that record could have. And so I guess that's why I've been so picky with wanting to get an absolute mint copy of this. So, but yeah, I'm pretty darn happy with the Japanese CD for now. That's for sure. So I was definitely happy to get to stumble across that. And then some really cool VCOT from my boy Billy Hurst. You guys know Billy. He sent me this, which of course not really much to show because it has a white sleeve. But the reason it has a white sleeve is because this is a 12-inch test pressing of Billy Idol's Rebel Yell. And for those of you that have known me in the VC for some time, and now Billy definitely knows this, Billy Idol's Rebel Yell as a studio album was just one of the most impactful albums in my entire musical life. Matter of fact, like a lot of everything you've seen from Mr. Hall of Fame's channel, a lot of it goes back to, you know, Billy Idol's Rebel Yell being one of the albums that spawned most things that I know as 80s rock, new wave, and everything else. So, yeah, Billy came across that, which is kind of cool too, because I've never owned a test pressing before, so this is my first one ever. So, yeah, Billy, man, thanks so much. I appreciate you thinking about me as always, and say a really cool piece. I appreciate it. So, next here we have Keane, Under the Iron Sea, which is album cover I've always loved. That artwork is fantastic. I've always been in love with that. And stumbled across this at a record show the other day, which is really nice. I only got it for $12, which is really cool because I've been wanting this for a while. Of course, their big hit off of this album is It Any Wonder, which is actually kind of the first song that brought me to them. But it was a really cool find too because this guy had a lot of nice stuff at his table, and it was priced accordingly. And I pulled this up, and like on each one, he had the name of the album, the price, and then the condition written underneath it. And so there's a couple things I bought from him, and he had labeled as near mint and then mint. And then I saw this one, and it said VG. So I was like, oh, okay, that cover looks good. I guess the record just must be scuffed up or whatever else. And I pulled it out, and like the record was perfect. And I'm like, wait a minute, there's no scuffs, there's no scratches. Like maybe it's warped really bad. So I'm trying to hold it up and see, and I just could not find a flaw with it. And I brought it home and put it on the turntable, and sure enough, it plays as clean as any vinyl I've ever owned. So I'm just not sure where he came up with the VG rating. Maybe he got sidetracked when he was, you know, labeling it or something. But great find for $12. Like I said, I've been wanting that one for a while. Another one that was a great pickup, which is the Best of Sade. Got this from Import CDs, where again they were running a nice little sale, and I caught this one on a markdown plus a 20% off. So I have all her studio albums on vinyl, with the exception of her very last one. Um, but you ever want to kind of sit down and listen to Sade and don't want to do a bunch of record flipping to kind of get to her hits and that type of thing, this is a perfect 2 LP set to have. But I say I never picked it up because they were running $35, and it just obviously wasn't worth it. But with that import CD markdown, I think I got this for $17. And I was like, well, heck yeah, I'm willing to pay that much for it. So great, great classic album. All of her hits. I mean, I love Sade to death. And another great addition. And then you got the Fuckamos Can Kill You. Now, this is a band that, I mean, again, I'm sure some people probably know and some people probably don't. For those that don't know about them, this is a band, do a really quick, like 20, 30-second description here. I'm going to file them in my punk section. I think they definitely kind of fall in that category. But the one thing I like about them is this band, at least on this album and the next one I'm going to show you here, are very, very heavy riffed type of bands. So they're not doing, your speed thing. They're not going to be like the Casualties or Dead Kennedys or anything like that. They really are a little closer to metal, like Bad Brains kind of heavy riff metal, than they are punk in my mind. But what they basically do is, the lead singer's kind of doing a whole monotone, not really trying to sing, more of a like, I'm being a rebel than trying to be, trying to perfect this sound or whatever type of thing. But again, the thing I love about them so much is they have so many just heavy, fuzzed out riffs in their music. And I don't know, like I said, it comes off a little more metal than punk to me. But if you want to kind of give it a listen, one song I recommend off of this is 80 Gay Sailors, I'm sorry. That'd be one song to kind of check out just to get an idea of what I'm trying to describe there. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. And again, I found those at in a bin. They were marked 50% off. So they were down from $16.99 right to $7.99. So I was like, again, heck yeah, I'll pick up some Fuckamos for $7.99. And then this is the other one that I picked up as well. Tape number 2 there, and the exact same thing here. Just kind of, that riffy based punk type of stuff. So definitely check them out. I think out of the two, Can Kill You is probably my favorite album out of those two. Moving right along, kind of completing the Twisted Sister collection. Come Out and Play. That was a nice sealed copy I stumbled across. So that was nice. And a couple of music on vinyl pressings. Metal Church. This is Blessing in Disguise. Great early thrash stuff, which is awesome. I do have, this original pressing, which I'm going to be kind of getting rid of. Just see a little bit of wear there on the top edge or whatever. Plays pretty clean, but does have a few, pops maybe here and there. But yeah, when I saw they were releasing it on the Music for Vinyl, which I love those pressings, I was really excited to pick those up, or to pick this up. But yeah, because music on vinyl, again, the nice thing about it is you know exactly what you're going to get every single time. I mean, they're always just fabulous, clean pressings. And I've almost labeled music on vinyl like the poor man's audiophile, because they actually price these things where you can afford them. But, frankly, I mean, they oftentimes sound just as good as any MoFi pressing that I've ever owned. I have never been disappointed with a single music on vinyl pressing I've ever purchased. So, great label, which is awesome. And here's another music on vinyl pressing I picked up, which is Yes. This is Time and Words, definitely one of my favorite pieces by Yes. So again, very excited that they pressed this on or Music on Vinyl had a pressing of it, which is cool. Next, Moving Sidewalks. This is the complete collection, 2 LP set. Of course, it's kind of their greatest hits. A band that I wasn't very familiar with until just, I don't know, quite frankly, a few weeks ago. I think I saw someone do a couple of needle drops in a video, and I looked up some of their stuff on YouTube and was listening to it, and just, yeah, was just digging it, quite frankly. But just kind of some, early psychedelic type of stuff. Not the heavy fuzz guitar psychedelic, but kind of a little bit more on the lighter side. But yeah, really good stuff. And even in a couple of places, just to give you an idea, there's a bunch of pictures that this is a gatefold. Actually, yeah, I just pull it out here really quick. I gotta describe it when I have it right here in front of me. So I say it's a 2 LP set. And you got this gatefold where they just have all these different pictures, as you can see there, which is kind of cool, of them performing and all of that. And then you see in that picture right there, taken with Jimmy. And it's kind of understandable because when you're listening to this, there are definitely a few places inside of this album where you certainly hear, hey, let's make a song that sounds like Jimmy, kind of thing. So it's kind of has some of that type of psychedelic influence inside of it. But yeah, great 2 LP set, sounds fantastic. Definitely recommend that one. I'm sure a lot of you psychedelic junkies out there, that's probably one of the most basic beginner groups for you guys. But even after this time, I'm still just kind of diving and starting to get to know my psychedelic world more and more. So, and as always, suggestions you have down there, please put them in. Another one here, Thin Lizzy, Renegade. This is a Back on Black reissue. And I found this the same place I found those Fuck Emos, marked down to $8. Again, brand new sealed copy, so I was like, I have to get that. So that's a nice pickup. I do have a couple of copies of this, and there is one other original pressing I'm going to be getting rid of. So, again, always check out either my eBay page, or shoot me a message here and let me know if you're in need of a copy of that. Really good condition. Def Leppard, The Vault. Of course, just their greatest hits, which they ought to just call it, Def Leppard, Pyromania, and Hysteria. I mean, that's more or less what the album is. But, yeah, again, just one of those albums that I bought the box set, and, I always knew that this would come out, so I wanted this because it used to be one of my favorite CDs. I used to play it all the time. But again, it was like, I'm not going to pay $30 for an album when I already have all the individual albums and the CDs and everything else. So I just didn't pick this up for the longest time. But walked in the other day and saw one brand new sealed, marked for $12. And I was like, for that, I will gladly pick this up. So, yeah, awesome find. And again, for those times when you want to listen to the greatest hits and don't want to flip albums, you have The Vault. I've seen a few people show this one, which is Megadeth. Of course, this is The World Needs a Hero, just kind of a recent reissue. So, just, vintage Megadeth stuff. I don't know why they're taking so long to get to Euthanasia. They're just like getting on my freaking nerves with that. I wish they'd press it already. But maybe that'll be the next one, hopefully, to come out. And the last two, the Archie's Greatest Hits. This is a fun find too because again, you guys know I have my category of my finders keepers, which are the albums that I have that are kind of covers maybe are really rough or maybe the vinyl is just condition I don't consider being part of my collection, but it's just that little stack that I keep is because I like those records and I don't want to get rid of it until I find a nice copy of one. There's maybe like 20 records in that 25 records in that section. But this was one of the ones that was in my finders keeper section. So it was so nice to stumble across a very, very nice copy of the Archie's Greatest Hits. This just goes back to that, I don't care where the music comes from. I don't care, the whole, cartoon thing or whatever else. I love the Archies. I remember as a kid, just that music I thought was so cool, especially the song "Sugar Sugar." I mean, that is just a perfect pop hit, and I love it. So it was very, very cool to find that. And last but not least, one other that I picked up that I got this for like $4 or $5, but it's going right into my finders keeper section again because it's just not quite the condition I'm okay with. But Nanette Nattel, The Beginning, just kind of some early folkish type of stuff. But I just heard this record once and really liked it and have been wanting to get a nice copy of it for the longest time and just can't seem to stumble across one, or even the ones I see online are just so ridiculously priced, like I'm never paying that much for it. So as you can see, this one has 2 hole punches down there. It's a little rough on the... But again, at least it gives me a copy I can actually listen to. So until I find a good one. So this will just go directly into the finders keepers pile until I can find one to actually add to my collection. But I wanted to share it just in case any of you out there in the VC, you do have a nice mint copy of it that you'd like to trade or sell or anything of that nature. Please shoot me a message and let me know. All right. So there you go, VC. Those are some of the recent pickups and recent finds. And as always, let me know what you guys think. Suggestions down below, especially on the psychedelic side of things. Especially considering on the psych side, I love the really heavy, fuzzy guitar riff type of psych. Like that's the stuff that really, really just has caught my attention. I've been putting together a compilation reel to reel of stuff that I just been recording off of the internet and everything, and it seems like almost everything on there is just that. It's that heavy, fuzzy, psychedelic, that more so than the stuff that's a little closer to folky. I like the heavier stuff better. So if you have any suggestions, please throw them down below there. We really appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching, and we will talk to you guys soon.